What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing tonight? It is Wednesday, and so you know when it's the hump day that your boy gets on here, the fat one, the terrible one, worst collector ever, Joe LaMattia. And this is Worst Collection Wednesdays. Thanks for tuning in with us. This is TFTV, where the caps are, and we've got a few things for you tonight. Not a super long show. I know it's we're pushing on midnight here in the Midwest, but that's okay. I'm all right with going late if you guys are, and got a few things to talk about. Nothing super major, but we'll get into a few things, and we'll go from there. The show usually drives itself, so if you join in topic wise, conversation wise, I try to stay on top of comments. I try to stay on top of as much as I can from Central Command. I'm doing everything I can. What's going on, Dag One? What's going on, Leon? How you guys doing tonight? So first things first, fit of the day. The Twisted. What's going on, George? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Glad that you tuned in for tonight. Hopefully you can make it a regular thing. What's going on, Colin? Texas Colin now. How's it going, brother? Good to see you tuning in. So we're just, you know how the show goes. It's very viewer driven. So if you guys want to talk about something, if you have something that you want to bring up, whether it be topical or it can be way off the wall, I'm good with either or. And I'll try to drive the bus as best I can, but if it gets off-road, we get off-road. So first things first, I figured I would do everyone's favorite segment, Worst Advice Wednesdays. So, like, worst advice ever. I will read a question from a viewer. And if you do have a question for this segment at all, just send me a tweet or DM. You can even post it on here. I can try to catch it, and I'll put it down for later consumption. Dank One, we're definitely going to get to the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff today. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk about a couple sneaker releases that I saw today or over the last couple days that were pretty cool. I wanted to talk about Team Fitted guys back to back with the custom drops on Hat Club that are doing pretty well. Dionic Danny, Dionic Design, always putting out fresh stuff, and Thrill San Francisco put out an awesome collab too. So we're going to talk about that. I wanted to talk about, there's something else. I don't remember. Oh, I do have a cap to show off, which is nice. I actually thought I was going to have a few more, but can't control the mail. So trying to be a little bit more selective, but let's just get right into the worst advice ever segment. So I've got the question in front of me, and the question says, Dear Worst Collector Ever, I need to make some quick money for new hats. What's the best legal way to do so? Well, again, getting better at wording these. So my advice, seriously, would be start a church. Yeah, start a church. Because guess what? There's no real dead set rules on that. It's very loosely based. All you need is like a couple people and a place to worship. And we've actually, no joke, we've talked about registering Team Fitted. Yeah, tax exemptions, crazy, a lot. You can do whatever you want, and you can just sit and pander for money. And apparently that's 100% tax-free and legal. So, you can definitely just do that. I'm down to get the building. Let's do it. I don't want to steal the joke, so I'm not going to steal the joke. But somebody made a very good joke in Team Fitted a while back. I forget who it was. And let's just say that if we probably were going to start a fitted religion, it would probably be Capstafarian. I think that would be the roll of the dice there. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I know it's super late. But yeah, that would be my best advice, and that actually isn't too far fetched. But like seriously, if you're looking for decent advice on how to raise quick money, the best thing to do is look at stuff that necessarily like Fititarians. Yeah, I could be a Fititarian for sure. Church of Latter-day Fits. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we get the building and we're 90% there. We could say this is our religious time where we all get together and pray. I could do the show live on every Wednesday. That would be the move. That would be dope. But for real advice, I would say take a look at your collection. Take a look at stuff that necessarily, and not even necessarily hats, just stuff that you know that doesn't either fit you or we're not going to that you're not going to wear again, and try to get rid of it quick. And then you can get money that way. I've told the joke about going to the grocery store and getting gift cards, but don't open any lines of credit. I think that the Hat Club thing is, yeah, George, Captology. I'm good with Captology. I like that. Now watch, in 50 years, like, we're going to be like the new, no, we're not. We're not going to be anything, but we can pull this off. So that was the first segment I wanted to get away. I did get this in. It was the only one I've gotten in. I kind of gave a teaser on Team Fitted. I always go live on Team Fitted first before I come on YouTube. So the boot cap, the Halloween, this is perfect timing. I'll probably throw a pumpkin pin on it. The back is really nice. I like that design. It's a pretty cool jack-o'-lantern thing. Obviously made in China. I think it fits pretty well. I like how they came away with the look. I think a big, bold design looks cool. I did like the scary one. I don't know if anybody was up on it, but these went on sale, I want to say last week. And of course, they had like an I only came here for the booze cap, but of course it's fucking snapback. What's going on, Twin Nats? How's it going, brother? So there were two fitteds. It was this one and it was a spooky. It said spooky. I think it was white and gray. On the back, it was a ghost. But the thing that threw me off is the ghost was wearing a snapback on the fitted, which was the real reason why I turned it down. I'm getting picky in my old age, I guess. I'm not trying to buy every damn thing that I see. I'm trying to be very selective. So if multiple hats come out on the same day, I try to pick the one I like the most, or the two if it really boils down to that, but trying to be more selective. So I picked the Boo one. Yeah, it was really stupid. Everybody's like, what? Like, this is snapback on a fitted? Yeah, it was definitely weird. But thanks, Sky, for tuning in. Kentucky Colin, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. But yeah, it was a really weird design. So it's just on the back. It probably, the spooky on the front was cool looking. I really do like it's really thick raised embroidery on this. I like the waviness of it. It's like spooky, but not like terrible, but it very much reminds me of like old, like classic Halloween stuff, which I like. But what's going on, JB? Good to see you. Yeah, so that was the one I picked. I passed on the spooky snapback. And then New Era. Today, I guess we'll just get into other stuff. Unless anybody has topics, go ahead and throw them out. But we'll talk about the first one that was brought up earlier, was the Nightmare Before Christmas line. If you guys didn't see that today, New Era, you're too late. Unless I think there was 1 3/4 left in the Shadow Tech standing Jack Skellington. Otherwise, your SOL there. I just checked on maybe a half hour ago, and they were sold out except for that one in fitted. Now, I mean, if you wanted, if we wanted to just say, okay, you know, they're sold out, we could just say that. So, sorry, my brain's. I'm trying to keep up with. Yes, Guy, we can talk about what spoopy is, like how stupid it is. I don't really know what spoopy is. I've been seeing this quite a bit. Maybe I'm just out of the loop. I know it has to do with something like spooky, spoopy, and like if you type it in, you get the dancing pumpkin guy. I don't understand it. Sky, it's a weird word, but I have heard like places having spoopy sales and all types of stuff. So I don't understand. Oh, it's for pathetic women. Oh, well, I should know about it then. I mean, because I don't know about I wouldn't know about anything. But yeah, so I couldn't remember. Anyway, yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas hats. We're going to go back to my point here. So they came out today. They came out this morning, and there were three fitteds. One was the old, like, the Jack Skellington face, but it was like, if you got the old purple one with Lock, Shock, and Barrel in the background with, like, the purple... like, I don't even know what to call that, like wreathy type material, or not material, but like, it's that embroidered head, like the embroidered head on the front, on a black cap. Then there was a standing Jack Skellington, so he's like standing almost on like the seam of the middle there, like right up front. That was okay, you know, it was all right. And then there was a third one, which was the Oogie Boogie Nightmare one. So I don't know. I'm hoping that the Oogie Boogie has glow in the. I'm hoping that these have glow in the dark details, especially on Oogie Boogie. I think it would be perfect. But I'm not holding my breath. Maybe they will. Who knows? My big thing that I don't know how it's going to look is the back of these fitteds, and I pulled it up again just to kind of look at it again. The back of the fitted has Disney, Tim Burton's, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's all vertical on the back. So I'm real concerned it's going to come up real high, and it's going to make the hat fit weird or look super weird. I think it kind of looks weird on here. That's kind of why I stayed away from the standing Jack, because I mean, I like Shadow Tech, and it was on a Shadow Tech gray material. Is nice, but I just the back of these caps is weird, so I tried to stick with the Oogie Boogie because I didn't know if that was something that would come back out, and I really am a big fan of Oogie Boogie, so I wanted to get that. Maybe I'll wear that in Disney next week. Not to keep plugging the same show, but I think it'll be a good show. Sometime in November. This will probably, I think this is, no, my last show will be on Halloween. So out of October. I didn't know if I would get one in, but yeah, it'll be Halloween night. Yeah, I'm at school again for a long night. So, I don't know if, I don't know if, what time we might be going on super late. Maybe we'll have a midnight Halloween show. That might happen, considering we're having a midnight October 25th show tonight. So JB says, I have a Disney Epic Mickey fitted, and that's as close as I'll ever get to something like this. Yeah, I understand. I didn't get that Disney Epic Mickey cap. That's like one of the few. Well, I wouldn't say one of the few. There have been a lot of Disney caps been released within recent memory. So I can't say, at one point I could say like, that's one of the few I don't have, but now I can't say that because there's so many of them. Dank One wanted the Oogie Boogie. Yeah, when I saw they went on sale, I immediately jumped on them. I threw both the gray Shadow Tech one and Oogie Boogie in my cart, and I sat there for like 5 minutes and just kind of thought about it. And then I made the decision I was just going to get Oogie Boogie, and I'm glad that I just kind of stuck to my guns. I didn't waver or anything like that. M2 Marlin, the purple one is still around. I don't know. I know at one point it was like on clearance, and then it got really like hard to find. I don't know. Like it might be one of those, but I like the Oogie Boogie. I think it'll be a good one. Dank One says he wants the Fantasia hat. Luckily I do have that. I'm gonna rock that with the or not Fantasia. No, I don't think I have a Fantasia hat. I have a Sorcerer's Apprentice, I guess, was in Fantasia. So yes, I'm gonna say Fantasia. Sorcerer's Apprentice is the one that you're thinking of. And yes, I got the Vans last week. I don't know, did I show those on the show? If I didn't, I'll bring them out for the Disney show. But yeah, grab but yeah, I've got quite a few. So I tried to be selective today. I think I did a good job picking this one. Gorlab says the back text is horrible. I've already heard about people saying that they may a few people that bought it are going to de-thread the back of it. I don't know how that's with that much stitching. I don't know how that's going to look. But I mean, maybe you could just take like the Disney Tim Burton's off, or something like that. I don't know why they needed Disney's Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, as if nobody knows. Like, if you don't know what Nightmare Before Christmas is, who gives a fuck? You're not going to get the hat anyway. You're not going to understand it. So, I don't know. Colin says, is it me or does it not seem like Aesop Ferg would be late to everything? I think that's true. Some of these rappers look like they would be late to their own funeral. Sky, I understand that it's licensing. I just, I think that there were other. I want to say that my other one, or just put Disney on the back. I would have been okay with that. I don't think you needed to put all of that on the back. And really what I'm worried about more than anything, and this is honest to God truth of what I thought the first thing I saw it was, this is going to turn out like those Game of Thrones caps where they had the high flag thing in the back. And I'm real concerned that that's what it's going to be. So yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to pull out the other one because I don't remember what's on the back, but I can guarantee you it's not all that on the purple one that I have. My point is that there's just, more is not always better. We talk about it all the time, quality over quantity. I don't think you needed all that. Or just like put like Jack Skellington or Oogie Boogie on the back, or leave. I mean, I like the back logos. I won't front. I really dig it, but I just don't. I think it's overkill. What's going on, Brett? Good to see you. Yeah, you're live. We got like 11 people on. We haven't gone an hour and a half, so far so good. We're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've been going to class and doing all of that. George says Snake Eyes would have been nice. Yes, I agree. I think there's a lot of things you could have done. The one thing that I don't know is why the logos are so basic. And just looking at the photos look like it may be glow in the dark. I will obviously test it and show it on the show, but there's something about the vertical stitching on these caps, at least in the photos, that makes me think that they may have glow-in-the-dark stitching. But I guess we'll find out. But that was one of the big things that got released today. Oh, before I go too far, there were 2 sneaker releases that I did think about. Let me pull them up because I've already forgot them. My brain is not what it once was, and so I apologize. But so I believe today, I'm not sure if it's today or tomorrow. If you're a Pepsi fan and you're not a Coke fan, but you like Pepsi, Puma has a Puma and Pepsi collab. It looks like it's a runner. Here, I can just hold up the picture. I don't know why I'm. So that's what they kind of look like. I don't know if that's a good photo. Yeah, not too bad. If you're a Puma fan, you probably will dig it. I thought that was kind of a cool. I mean, I'm a Coke guy. I like Wild Cherry Pepsi, but in general, I like Coke products over Pepsi products. But I still think these are dope, and I figured I'd give them a shout out. These, though, this next one is something that when I saw it, seeing what came out from Japan last week that we were talking about and all of that, I thought these were really dope. And it's just one of the photos that I took a snapshot of before. But it's a Vans NASA collection, and I'm guessing that they all have removable Velcro patches. I don't know if it's just the back heel, but I thought that's cool concept. I know that there was some NASA caps that got released in Japan recently. I know that the original one was in Europe. There was like 36 of them. It wasn't supposed to release, yada, yada. Most of us know that story. But with the new releases in Japan, I saw those and I felt like it was apt to kind of talk about. So those are out there. If you guys are looking for them, it says they're ready to drop on November 2nd. So November 2nd will be your release date. So hopefully those won't be too limited, depending on how they look. I kind of like Vans as far as price point wise goes right now. And it's like just for like a school shoe where I can just sit and do nothing. They're nice. But I'm an equal opportunity offender. I think I talked about this with somebody in Team Fitted recently. I will wear what I want. Earlier in my years when I started collecting, I was Nike SB heavy, and I feel like my collection is still Nike SB heavy. But I have so many different, between Nike, Adidas, Puma, Fila, Vans, Converse, Greedy Genius, Clearweather, K-Swiss. Trying to think of some of the other ones that I don't know. There's got to be, Reebok. I'm trying to think of any that I may have missed, but I'll wear whatever. I was wearing fucking velvet Puma Clydes yesterday, so you guys know I'm not afraid to take risks with that stuff. But yeah, Brett, I'll be honest. I do not have any Heelys or Crocs. Actually, if I had Heelys, I would probably wear them. I swear I would probably wear some Heelys. I do have some like Americas. Oh, I do actually technically have a pair of Crocs, although they're not they're not like the classic Crocs. They're just like pair of flip flops. I think I got them when I was gonna shower at the gym or something like that, and I just picked them up because they were. And I don't even think I recognized that they were Crocs until afterwards. But they're just flip-flops, just like foam flip-flops or nothing. But yeah, Heelys. Heelys got a lot of shit. But like that's kind of a cool shoe. I don't give a fuck. They're like the Dada spinners. Remember those, the Spreewells with the spinners on them? Those I wouldn't do. There's a few shoes I never liked. Like I never liked Shocks. Nike Shocks. Those are big for a while there with like the big springs in the back. I thought those looked terrible. The Spreewells were weird. I'm trying to think of some of the other weird shoes. Now see, Dank, I actually liked Ruse, but the reason I like Ruse was because Walter Payton was one of the like one of the sponsors or like one of the advertisers for that shoe. And being a Chicago Bears fan, that was like right up there with, like, for me, real high on the list. Like, okay, I can rock Ruse. I had Troop shoes as a kid. spokesperson. Thank you. I'm struggling. My brain is fried. I had a math exam today. I had a ton of computer work, so I'm over it. But yeah, so yeah, John, that makes me laugh, JB. There was so many kids that would fucking definitely bust their shit when rocking those Heelys. I remember watching some kid. I want to say I don't remember where I was. It was at an amusement park or a carnival or something. But a kid was going downhill in them, and he tried to stop. Like he thought he would be able to slow down and stop. And like when he put his toe down or whatever to like stop himself, he bit it hard. And so there was plenty of those. I don't know why people think that you can get away with some of that shit. Let's see, Creative Rex. I actually have a pair of Creative Rex, but they're more of like they're just like a regular, like not boat shoe, but kind of like a Vans old school type shoe. Very simple. Trying to think, there was some shoes. There's something in my collection that I should pull out and do like a what was I thinking episode of just shit that what was I thinking. Dank one British Knights. Being a lower middle class, not and one of 4 children in my family, we rocked British Knights. We rocked Airwalks. In fact, Airwalks, I just saw Journey sold the tennis ball ones, and they sold out of my size before I saw. Or I definitely would have bought the tennis ball Airwalks. I thought those were dope. But when I was a kid, Troops, British Knights, stuff like that. I never did get any pairs of Dadas. I never got any like the S Carter stuff or like the G Unit stuff. I did get a pair of Shaq shoes at some point. I do remember that. They were selling, I think, at Kmart for like $9. LA Gears shit. LA Gears were dope. I would like LA Gears to make a comeback. That would be actually pretty fresh. But like some of the brands, they come back and they don't understand that people kind of want like the old school stuff, but they kind of want like a new twist on them. Because some of the stuff like Fila, they came out real strong. I thought Fila was going to make a big comeback, and they kind of like, they're like, here's the Fila 96. Here's a couple cool things. And then it was like, we don't really have much more to offer you guys. So we're just going to kind of just put out like white and red and blue, like tennis shoes. And for me, stuff like Supra. Now that's an interesting shoe. So, Supras were always a shoe that I kind of didn't understand. They always used to sell them at like Zoomies and shit. And when those were really popular, I was kind of still really big into Nike SB. So I never really did any of that. Leon says Fila died with Grant Hill. That stuff. And like when Tupac wore them, and I don't remember what video shoot or whatever he wore those. Brett is asking, how do I feel about Puma's first basketball shoes in years? Yes. Okay, so I think Puma is going to make a pretty good push. I think they understand what they need to do here as far as they found a couple good players. They don't need people like LeBron James and stuff. They just need some decent up-and-coming players. And I think they've gotten two or three players that have their own shoe or are wearing sponsored by Puma basketball. And I think Puma basketball will do well. I think Puma has done a really good job revitalizing their brand over the last few years. They were very dead. I remember for a long time, the only people I saw rocking Pumas were like European guys, and then it was like the Ferrari Puma shit and stuff like that. It was very weird, like Euro, like racer style shit, and the chip really made me. I don't really get it, and I think they're getting back to understanding that like people want Puma Clods, they want suedes, they want stuff like that. Let's see. JB says, whatever happened to the Big Baller Brands? Okay, so I don't know if you heard about that. They took a bunch of money for, you had to pre-order the Big Baller shoes, and those are like by Lonzo Ball and shit. If you haven't heard of them, I'm sure you have. You just don't know what I'm talking about yet. But yeah, so that shoe that you had to prepay, and I want to say it was like $250 or $300, right, for that shoe. And from what I heard, half the orders didn't get fulfilled. Some orders didn't get their right size, and there's no way of like returning them. I've heard nothing but terrible things, and rightfully so. Let's be real. That dude is a fucking clown. I heard he's a nice guy, Lonzo Ball, but that shoe is trash, and anybody who thinks you can just go, they may have been $550. I know that they were some fucking ridiculous amount, and it was at a point where I was like, you never sold a shoe in your life. No one has an idea of what to expect. It's even worse than custom cap orders, JB, because this is like me saying I'm going to create a cap with 3 bills coming out of it, and I'm going to create this new product that's a hat, but it's not going to be just a fitted. It's going to be something fucking weird. And there's no surprise that they were shit, because you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to fucking just make shoes all of a sudden. Like, there's a reason why Nike and Adidas and shit have good, like, if you're going to do that, it has to be very niche. And the way that it was, to me, it was just like money grab. Like, let's just shill. And Dank One says he goes hard for his boys. And I don't know, man. I think, yes, I think he's good for his kids or whatever, but I think he's also detrimental to him. I think his kids would probably get better contracts if he would just shut his mouth sometimes and let his kids be their, especially you're in the NBA, Lonzo and is it Lonzo? God, my brain is so fried tonight, I can't even describe. But the one that plays in the NBA, he should be able to at least speak for himself. The other two are a little bit younger, but even that, I mean, there we go. Didn't a couple of them get arrested too in like some country that like Lithuania or something? They went and played basketball and they had to get bailed out. And I remember watching some video, and I'm sure it's out there. I think they were in Philadelphia, and one of his sons said that Philadelphia was the state, and Pennsylvania was another state. Like, it had no concept that Philly was a city inside of the state of Pennsylvania. Like, it was very, very weird. China, yeah. He was on UCLA and he got caught shoplifting. Thanks, Colin. That's what this show's all about. If you guys got stuff to say it, because it totally helps me. I'm just here to kind of keep the combo going. Let's see. There were some other things I saw in here that I wanted to talk about before the comments start scrolling too far. Sky says he loves Sambas. That's a funny thing that you should say that, because I don't know if anybody's seen Jonah Hill's new push for, like, I think it's called the 90s movie or something like that, but he's making like this big push. It's his own movie that he's like debuting, or I don't think he stars in it. I think he might be directing it. I'm not sure, but he's been getting a lot of pub, and he was talking about like fashion and stuff. And he said that for him, the Samba was his favorite sneaker silhouette, which I thought was interesting. It's a good one. I rock those things, especially when I had indoor soccer when I was a kid. I love those shoes. They're so comfortable. But there was I think that there was a couple more shoes as a kid that you could get away with. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had my fair share of like, I remember, like it was yesterday when I was in, I want to say second or third grade. My parents, we had to get gym shoes, and they had to be like a specific, like no scraping sole for the gym floor. I don't remember exactly what the problem was, but the shoes I had didn't work or something, and I ended up my parents brought me to like Walmart or something, and I got what I thought were the dopest shoes. Right? They were fucking He-Man hologram Velcro like shoes. Right? I thought they were the shit, and I wore them to school, and people made fun of me like it was like I was the fucking stupidest person on earth. And I'm telling you, I wasn't that old. Like I said, second and third grade, but I guess I should have been old enough not to rock He-Man holograms or like hologram, like where you'd move it and like makes action scenes and shit. Those are fresh. I don't give a fuck. And I wasn't as secure with myself, in second grade. But man, if I could find those in an adult size today, I would wear them. For real, I would wear them, and I would go hard in them. Sky says give him some Starberry. Shit, Stephen Berries had... So if you don't know what Starberries are, and I'm sure that, like, I think the Starberry line may still be alive, but I'm talking about, like, the beginning of Starberries. If you don't know what a Starberry shoe was, there was a guy in the Knicks, Stephon Marbury. He joined up with this store called Stephen Berries, which is, like, this weird store that would sell, like, it was kind of like Old Navy, but like cheaper. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was one of those stores where you go in and like they have jeans and hoodies and shirts and all types of shit, and it would say Stephen Berries. Well, Stephon Marbury signed a deal to release shoes from Stephen Berries, and they were like $15 shoes. And I will say this: 15, $20 for, whatever. He was trying to create a fashionable shoe that was cheap to like sate children that couldn't afford it. So I appreciate the desire of why he created the line. And I will say this: I bought a pair of all white ones. I think I still have them. I'll try to find them if I can, like, for the What the Fuck show. That would probably actually, I think that might be my next show, because I think that would be fun. Maybe not Halloween, but the week after that or something. But I bought a pair of all white ones. They have like a star on the side, very not like Converse, different, and they're very clunky. They're very Air Force One clunkiness to them, but they were. No, I mean, that was at that point a very good style. They had a bunch of basketball shoes that were cheap, and I think they held up pretty well for the price. I know a lot of people had them when I was younger, so I really like Stephen Berries. I don't know how they didn't work. Yeah, Tank One, I think they did sell them in Kmart's. I know Shaq sold his in either Kmart's or Walmart's or Target's. It might have been all of them for all I know, but I know I bought quite a few Shaq items, whether it be like basketball shorts or shoes. And those shoes were not that. Leon, that could be true. They were Velcro and they were cool. And I do believe the reason why I hoard shit is because there have been multiple times in my life where I've either moved or something has happened and I've lost all my shit, or like came close to losing all my shit. It happened once when I moved down to Kentucky. It happened once earlier in my childhood. It's happened a few times. So I think I get this, like, I gotta have shit to like sate that part of me, but I don't know. I mean, I might just be talking on my ass. Who knows? I might just like to spend money on dumb shit. Very well possible. Let's see. Yeah. Tank One, you said that they were in China. Oh yeah, that's the LeVar Ball's kids or whatever. John Beer says, just remember the middle era team fitted days where all we'd see are posts about people complaining dropping money on custom cap orders that never got fulfilled, and dude would never answer messages. That is true. That has happened a couple of times. I'm thankful that I think that era kind of was weird. Like, and if you aren't in team fitted or you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a period a couple years ago, probably a couple years ago now, and it was a very bizarre time in team fitted history because a lot of people were making customs and they were coming out with like these caps, and at first, like, not on the level of like Dionic Design or Thrill. Like, these weren't like mass produced cap. Like, this is like, you know, for like a fucking high school baseball team or something. That, like, that's how small of a run. Like 20, 18, 36 caps, not a lot. So, but like at first it started out as just like trickle. Like, oh, I'm gonna come out with a custom, and it's gonna be dope. And if you know anything about it, you have to like put your money in, and you gotta wait, and then you gotta get it made, and you gotta get it approved, and you gotta do all these things, and there's a lot of hoops to jump through. But at first it was like, oh, one cap here, one cap there, and then all of a sudden it became like everybody figured out how to do it, and everybody was doing it, and it was just like, I know, I want to say Jeffrey Neer, if you guys know Jeff, he was at one point, he was like, I'm gonna get all the customs that come out, and he was buying them left and right, and they're not cheap. Like, custom caps are usually like between $40 and $50 bare minimum, and then you got to pay like your shipping and whatever. So they can be pricey for like just a regular, like nothing. When I say regular, like just something like this, where it's just stitched on, nothing, no special materials or nothing, incredibly like that you could justify a crazy price tag. And then everybody was doing it. Everybody had like a custom they were coming out with or they wanted to do. And, I think New Era caught on to a couple people that like they caught selling them, or like, I know Paul Rodriguez got caught, and because he had he had put out two, and he had a third one to like complete the trilogy of like what he wanted to do with his line. And like he went to go and put in the third one, and New Era was like, nah, we know you're selling them, like you're like blacklisted. So he had to go through another company, and obviously they didn't sell it. I only got the first one. It was the one I liked. I didn't feel like it needed to come out with a bunch. Leon, is it a custom like pre-stitch or post-stitch? Because to me, now we're in this era where now I have to ask that question, which is what I was going to get to next. So we'll just talk about it. Is like, now we're in this era where people are really finally starting to figure out how to utilize the stitching machines at lid stores and such. I know Leon does a great job. Buckram breakers, exactly. That's a perfect term for it. It's, you can just buy blank fitteds and just embroider whatever the fuck you want on them. And if you've got if your art is in a DST file, I believe that's correct. If I'm wrong, someone will correct me. I know you can just go and embroider it. Now, I will say this: sometimes it bunches, and there's issues, and obviously you have to go. You got to schmooze it up with. Not every store is gonna just be like, yeah, here's the keys to the kingdom, right? Right, fuck you with weed leaves on the front of your cat. Like, I'm sure that there's going to be limits, but Sky says to be careful what I say. I don't think I need to be careful because nobody watches this shit. Like, I think I got 40 viewers last week. I think we're at 8 right now. It's my friends, and I look at you guys as fam. Like, I only do this for fun. I don't think we're going to be breaking any barriers or glass ceilings with this YouTube shit. But it's fun. I enjoy coming on here and just chatting it up with you guys every week. And I would do it if, two people are on here, I'd still be on here and hanging out. Sky, you'll have to tell me if there's a snitch in TF. I want to at least know who it is. But yeah, so now we're in this era where you can just stitch stuff, which is my point. Is that now you can do that, which is kind of a weird. It's a weird scenario where you can just kind of make a DST file, get an artist to do it for you, or do it yourself if you're that savvy, and bang, you're in the clear. I'm trying to keep up with it. Forgive me if I missed your comment. I'm trying to keep up with all the different comments. I don't know. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to read and make sure I got everything. John Beard says that he asked somebody, who did you ask for Adidas and you got Zips? Was it your grandma? Because most people say like their grandma's never bought them dope shoes. My grandma was the exact opposite. But like I knew our family didn't have a ton of fucking money. So my grandma was one of those where it's like, you go to Grandma's house, like whatever you want. Like we're going to the grocery store, you're staying one night, we're buying $80 worth of fucking snacks and shit to send you home with at the end of the weekend. Like that's how my granny was. So I tried not to like take advantage of it. So when we would go buy sneakers, I would try to stay in I wasn't at like the Walmart, Old Navy, Kmart level, but I was like in that next tier up that was like, Shoe Carnival-ish, those types of stores where it's like, yeah, these were probably not anyone's first choice, and they're not going to be like, Jordans or, anything phenomenal, but they were comfortable, they were nice, and I understood as a kid, money wasn't big, and I wasn't like super into like making my parents buy me shit. Like I was the type of kid who like I would go thirsty all day at a theme park rather than be like, I'm thirsty, I want to drink. Like that's just kind of how I was. So 3 Ninjas dropped. Oh, Leon, I did see that, and I wanted to I think I saw the logos, and you were like, who wouldn't recognize this? And I wanted to say that's what it was from, and I was going to ask you, and I never did. Let's see. Dank One says his what the fuck was the Fantastic Four Air Force One. Yeah, you said it, brother. So he said any sweat would make him steam up like a Yugo with 5 hefty girls in it. Excellent way to put it. I definitely agree. So I bought a pair of, I don't remember what kind of shoes they were, but like they were like some knockoff plastic. They might have been Bapes, even like Fapes. Like I knew they were fake. I was buying them strictly just to cut the grass in, but they were clear like that. And I was like, oh, these will be fresh to like, I can wear crazy socks and shit. But I totally agree. Any of those like plastic shoes that like have just a clear see-through, and like as your foot gets warm and it just gets, it's not breathable. So you don't have that material to like, any absorption or anything. So they would just steam. Like you'd just see like that, like the clear would turn to like that whitish, like steam color, and it terrible. I totally understand though. Let's see. I think Leon says his Pops always told him keep it under 100, and he didn't own his first Jordans till he was 25. Always got stuck with Reebok, Adidas, Fila. Yeah, I understand. I wasn't even given 100. So like if my granny was buying my shoes, which would happen like once, maybe every couple years, she would get, we would go to the mall because she like worked at JCPenney for a while, and so there would be times where we would go to see her and she'd be like, oh, let's go in the mall, let's go buy shit. But most of the time my parents were buying my shoes. Like I said, we were going to like there were a couple stores, and again, my memory is fucking Swiss cheese, but they're very like Shoe Carnival-y, where it was like not Payless, Although Payless, when we were younger, carried a little bit of more of a selection than they do now. But it was like that, where it was like, oh, these are like the $40 K-Swiss. I remember I rocked a lot of K-Swiss, a lot of Airwalk, stuff like that. A few DCs when they were like later. But yeah, I didn't get my first pair of Jordans. My first pair of Jordans were the Jordan 18. So that was like he was on the Wizards already. And because my parents were one of those like, oh, $100 for a pair of sneakers. No, like back in my day, sneakers, it cost a nickel, and they last for 40 years because we'd fix them and sew them together ourselves when they ripped and shit. I'm obviously ad-libbing, but this is normal parent shit. And so, and like I said, I wasn't the type that was like, I need it. I need this. For me, it was like, whatever. I think after the whole, probably the He-Man reflective hologram thing, I probably was gun shy to pick anything else for a long time. So who knows? But yeah, other things I wanted to talk about. Shout out to Thrill San Francisco. If you guys didn't see that New Era Clowns fitted, the Playland Clowns hat, it was out on Hat Club. Great job. Alex, I believe it's Alex Mitchell runs Thrill, and he killed this. It's like that old school, like 70s, 80s style clown, yellow button, navy blue and red bill and upper. Yeah, Grippy. He did a really good job on this, and rightfully so. It sold out pretty fucking quick. I know I said it before, some of his releases are kind of hit or miss. This was a definite hit. Definite hit. I wonder, I'm going to maybe ask him if they're going to be restocked or if he thinks they will. I know that he was saying to somebody that if you still wanted one, you could call Hat Club, call their line, and I think one store still has a size run of them. But don't quote me on that. That was earlier today. They could be gone by now. Dink One says he heard Hat Club oversold it and canceled some orders. There's some I talked about, I think last week. Hat Club's website is in severe need of some maintenance. As somebody who's in computer science, and I'm not like HTML whiz, and I'm not putting together websites or anything in my free time, but just the functionality of it leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, even now I'm on it, and where you're supposed to get like the different pictures on the side, it's not loaded. So like, or you'll try to sort it by price, or you try to sort it by your size, and it doesn't sort. So I'm not surprised they had to cancel some orders. Anything that sells fast. I remember when I got the SpongeBob, the Mocking SpongeBob cap from them. My order got fulfilled and it was great. Somebody else's, I believe it was Raza Muhammad from New York. He placed an order and his got canceled. So yeah, I've heard of that happening before. Anything that just goes fast, it really moves. It moves fast. Dank One says he used to rock suede Pumas with the Fat Boy laces. I talked about that last week too. I don't think, or maybe it was longer ago, but I don't think that like style really comes into play as much. Like it's more about the sneaker now instead of like how you style your sneaker. I know, back when we were younger, there weren't so many different types of models. It was, models and colorways of shit. So we were more creative, I think, than kids now, where it's like, oh, I want a purple shoe with navy green laces and a yellow polka dot back. It's like, oh, probably will come out within the next, now I said it, it'll be like the next Paul George shoe or something like that. You really can find almost anything. So I don't think that there's really a need. Brett says that they have an eighth or a quarter hanging out in the SpongeBob cap. That might be a tip for somebody. So if you're watching the show and you wanted one of those SpongeBob caps and an eighth or a quad, Brett says they might have one, so maybe give them a call in the morning and do your thing there. I'd at least inquire about it. I like that cap. I thought, I'm only wearing one cap a year, or one cap a day for the year. So I understand, too much. But the fact is I like that cap a lot. I really I like it more than I like the, I believe ECAP City put out one where it was just like laughing SpongeBob or whatever, but I don't feel like they really got the texture of SpongeBob right, so it just looks weird to me. I think it was ECAP City. Yeah, Dank one. Yeah, in the 80s we would customize our shit. Paint markers, just pens. I remember having like white K-Swisses and just drawn all over them. Leon, that would be dope. A Patrick cap would be fresh. I think you could probably get away with it. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. What was it? There's something else. Did I see something come through? I don't remember. Savage Patrick would be good. That would be a really good one. No, I think I caught up. So yeah, so shout out to Thrill. The Clown's cap was dope. The other cap I wanted to talk about was Dionic's zombie cap. So he's been coming, I think he said he's going to have something like 45 releases or 50 releases, something crazy like that for the year, which would just be, that's incredible to me. But yeah, his latest one is like an olive color, Kelly Green style, and it's got like the zombie hand busting out with the baseball. It's got a moon and like a gravestone. There are still sizes 3/4 and up your SOL, but 7 through 7 5/8, there's still sizes available in that. So if you're looking for a cool Halloween cap, that might be the move. I like it, but Danny's my boy. I'm gonna support him, and but he knows as well as I do. I'll tell him if I don't think it's crazy. Like the Bats logo, I do like it in the purple and green. I will say I really do like this, but in general, I'm not crazy about this logo, the Dionic Bats logo. My personal opinion. But maybe I have high standards for Danny, so you can look at it both ways. But really good work. Some cool stuff coming out with Hat Club. I kind of leave the Hat Club stuff to Brett. He's more of our resident Hat Club guy, considering the nearest Hat Club to me is probably 1,000 miles away. So yeah, so that's that. Let's keep moving because we're about an hour in, so I'm gonna wrap this up here soon. But superhero stuff. If you're not in the superhero stuff group, they finally put up on the website the Deadpool cap, the Beta Ray Bill cap, and the cap I was talking about last week that they kind of were hinting at bringing back a cap that was only available in a box previously. And by a box, I mean Superhero Stuff does these superhero boxes where you have to buy the hat and the shirt and the socks and whatever. But the hat itself, I thought it was going to be the Wolverine. It wasn't the Wolverine. It was Novacore. And if you're not in that group and you like those caps, get in that group, because I probably wouldn't have bought the Novacore cap. But especially considering I believe it was $65. Don't quote me. I believe. But for the first 4 or 5 hours that they sold it in that group, and like they said that it was an exclusive for that group, they gave out a 50% off code. So I ended up paying with shipping, I think $33. So I wasn't mad at it. Like I said, I'll probably only wear it once a year, if that. But I thought it was a good one to have. And I don't know, I liked it. I try to buy up a lot of the big face stuff. There's not I wasn't feeling Cerebro. And there's been ones that I've just kind of passed on. But yeah, DJ Pride One saying he came up on that Nova Cap on sale on that sale too. Yeah, good job. I'm thankful that I wasn't the only one. I believe they said 300. They made 300 more of them. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. Let's see. I think there's something else I was going to talk about. I just don't remember. So yeah, so that's kind of been the deal. Does anybody have any topics of discussion that I missed they want to talk about? I'm game for whatever. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a wrap. I think tonight was kind of productive. We talked about some stuff that is coming out and stuff. So as a shopper, I feel like my shows might come more towards this angle where I kind of just talk about shoes and caps and different stuff. Yeah, we could talk about mystery boxes, Leon, for sure. Okay, so Hat Club, I believe today put up a more of the mystery boxes. If you don't know what the mystery box is, you'd basically pay a price. I think it was $100 for 6 caps this time. And they just send you 6 random caps, hit or miss. I totally struck out and felt pretty bad about the first box. I got one of Thrill San Francisco's garlic fries, but it was in a white cap, and I don't really prefer white caps. The San Diego State University cap, the logo to me looked off them in the middle. There was a San Diego Gulls cap, which I didn't think I loved it, but it was probably the best one I got out of the collection. And then the fourth one, I honestly don't even fucking remember. And that's terrible for me to say. I know what it was. So it was the Miami Marlins in the blue that ended up being like, $10 or $15 on their site. I think that's really, for me, the problem with the mystery boxes is that they don't do a good job of like mixing it up to where it's like, here's a cap that like you may or may not want, but like if all you're doing is really unloading clearance caps, I would much rather just wait and I'll just 6 caps for $100 is really not that great of a deal. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. You give me $100, I can probably buy 6 caps that I want, that fill a need that I desire. But yeah, when they first did the first set, I bought one. It was $100 for 4, I believe, at that point, and or maybe it was $75 for 4. I don't remember exactly now. But yeah, Brett says 2 for 50, 4 for 75, 6 for 100 today. I think the first ones were 4 for 75. I think that's what I ended up spending, and I got those 4 hats that I mentioned. And I wasn't overly impressed. It was nothing that I would have like bought. So, I mean, in a sense, that's cool. It's kind of like why, when it's Christmas time and, you get a gift from a friend and it's like they buy you that one thing where like you wanted it and you would have never bought it for yourself, but like they knew you wanted it, so they get it for you. This isn't that. Like, to me, it was more like, here's some shit that we're trying to get rid of. There might be something in there you like. But for the vast majority, it's all hats that are under $20 anyway. So, I don't know. I didn't think it was a great deal. Brett, exactly. I thought that they could have and should have, make it like, even better. Do one of those where like they put 100 boxes on the floor. And this is legit a good idea. If Hat Club or Lids steals this idea, just remember you heard it here first, because this would actually be a legit idea. So take a photo of like, I don't know, like bingo squares, right? And put them all out on the floor, put 2 caps or whatever in them, charge $50 and tell people like, oh, in 3 of these boxes, there are, unreleased caps, or there's a sample cap, or something that it's like, okay, I know I'm gambling. I know my odds aren't, it's not lottery terrible, but I know my odds aren't great, but I have a chance of getting like this super dope cap that I really like.